am I to move these? I'm Todd Thompson. I'm the Leavenworth County Attorney. Spelling Todd-Thompson for you. Can everyone still hear me with your audio? Sorry, I didn't move it. Okay. Is the sheriff here? Do you want to come up? No? Okay. I first want to discuss a little bit of the process of the investigation, and then why we won't be discussing facts, so you have a little bit of understanding before I explain what the charges are, and then I will open it up for some questions if I can answer those questions. In any type of investigation, the law enforcement offices have to move quickly. Our sheriff's department did that, and they asked for the cooperation of many other agencies, and we want to especially thank all the agencies that participated. We know that the sheriff's office did an exemplary job, and as well as the Highway Patrol, the KBI, we know the FBI, as well as the Beckham County in Oklahoma, so in the Highway Patrol. So we really do want to appreciate them. In the process of doing that, for us to make a determination of facts, we have to wait for them to be able to provide us something so we can review and make a decision for charging. Sometimes that takes days, weeks, months, depending on what the facts we need. In this particular case, we were able to make a determination from the facts that were provided from the Sheriff's Department, and we received those late last night, and we had been discussing the case with them since the inception. Now, for prosecutor's office, we want to make sure that the facts are presented out to the jury. And in doing that, we protect those that are involved, not only the victims and witnesses, but as well as the defendant, to make sure that we know that they only have the opportunity for presentation of actual facts to the jury, and we do not want to taint the jury. So in that, we do not discuss any amount of facts regarding the case. I know that many of your agencies have done a lot of very thorough investigations on your own and using a lot of the resources that we needed in this particular matter, but regardless, our office cannot discuss those until we go forward with trial and have it in front of the jury, if that's the case. In doing so, in reviewing the case, Donald Ray Jackson Jr. is innocent until proven guilty, but Leavenworth County has charged him for the crimes that are occurring on the 24th day of October 2020, being present unlawfully and feloniously, intentionally, with premeditation, killing minor child with a date of birth in 2008, and the unlawful felonious intentional and with premeditated killing of a child born in 2006 as part of the same transaction or two or more transactions connected together, constituting parts of a common scheme or conduct. This charge will be capital murder. We did file two in the alternatives to this capital murder case, which would be the first-degree intentional murder of a child born in 2008, as well as a child born in 2006. For your understanding, I know that usually you ask what type of punishment those receive. A capital murder punishment is in prison without parole, or by the prosecution's determination of filing and then the jury's decision of whether they want to seek the death penalty. An intentional murder, first degree, is a life sentence with the first opportunity of parole at 25 years, and a subsequent death could be up to 40 years. I will say that we have been in contact with some of the family of the victims and did go over this prior to releasing these charges. And with that, I stand for any other questions.
Can you say how the boys died at this point?
Again, no, that's a facts related to the case, and that I would leave up to the determination of a jury. Yes, ma'am.
So what's the point of having an alternate charge? How does that play in for people who don't practice law?
Basically, so for the capital murder case, we charge, it is a one count, but what's necessary is the transaction of two or more acts connected together constituting a death, basically both.
So 2 deaths.
Correct.
Okay.
And so that's something the jury has to make a determination on. And then the alternative is if they don't believe that, then they can make a decision of whether they believe that it's first-degree murder.
Do you have a motive in this case?
Again, that's about facts, and then we're going to leave that up to the jury and in preparation for our case.
Just to clarify, he could be facing 2 capital murder charges and 2 first-degree intentional murder, or all those are separate?
Capital murder is a one count because it's the necessity of having 2 deaths in connection with that. So it is a one count. In the alternative, if they decide it's 2 different counts, which would be the first-degree murders.
Do you expect Mr. Jackson to face any federal charges in connection to all this?
I have not been in contact with any federal agency, and I believe the case will be coming through this office, through this county. And we have not had any discussions about that. We believe that it will be occurring here.
What's the next step? What can we expect in the coming days and weeks?
The information that I've been provided is that, and we've been in contact, and if I didn't say this, I do want to give a special thanks to Sheriff Derek Manning of the Beckham County, Oklahoma, as well as the Assistant DA in Beckham County, Gina Webb, who we've been in regular contact with. It's my understanding that he is in Beckham County, Oklahoma, and upon the filing of the case, he will be looking at an extradition back to Leavenworth County.
Are there any charges in connection with taking his daughters out of state? Or right now are you just focused on the death of the 2 kids?
Right now we're focused on that, and that was what the information we've been provided right now.
And I'm not sure if you said, when is that extradition going to happen?
It'll be forthcoming. We don't know when exactly what will happen. There's a lot of factors that take place in an extradition. A person who's sitting on an extradition can waive that extradition and be brought back, I wouldn't say relatively quickly, because the 2 offices of the governor's office the office of each state has to connect with each other for transferring them back before doing that. The defendant could also not agree to the extradition, and then there will be some legal wrangling in Oklahoma before he can be processed back here.
And, sorry, I'm like hogging you.
That's okay.
One more. So the purpose of not sharing the facts in this case, and you're anticipating holding the trial here in Leavenworth County and not sending it off to another county?
As far as not to... As I said, he's innocent until proven guilty. All facts are alleged at this point, but we are alleging through the complaint that you can read that it's occurred in Leavenworth County, Kansas.
The victims in this case, are they Mr. Jackson's sons?
Again, I'm not going to disclose any of that.
How is the family doing?
As well as you could expect. So,
Can you tell us if there were any calls on Donny about abuse or fighting or anything before this incident occurred?
no, I do not want to shed any light on the defendant at this point, more so to make sure we, as best as possible, have a fair trial in front of a jury. So I'm not going to speak about the defendant or best about the victims or any of that factor. Sorry.
Are you going to seek any help from the Attorney General's office with the prosecution of the capital murder case? Or are you planning on doing it in-house?
My office is fully equipped with staff. I have Sean Boyd standing to my left, your right, and Megan Williams standing to my right, your left, and And I believe with the other attorneys, we can handle this matter, and I'm comfortable with that. I will say that the Attorney General's office has already reached out, not for asking for the case, but willing to provide any type of help. We appreciate Derek Schmidt in doing that. And I will say many other colleagues across the state have reached out just to express their concern and willingness to help, as you could imagine anyone would in a situation of a case like this. Or any case, really. Anything else?
This might be another facts question, so I apologize.
That's all right. I understand. That's why I try to kind of explain that ahead of time.
Yeah. Do you have any idea where Mr. Jackson was going when he fled Kansas?
No, I just not going to comment on that. No. Sorry. I know it's frustrating as it is. I know you have contacted us as well as others about a lot of information, and it's not to be rude. It's just for the best interest of the case overall and the ethics that we have as prosecutors. So we do, as prosecutors, have the highest ethical burden, and we try to preserve the case as best as possible. So I appreciate it. I don't mind being asked. I just try to let you know why we're not saying anything more at this time.
So the date of the next hearing will be dependent on this him being extradited?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So, yeah, I'm sorry, and that was part of your question. Once extradited back, the process is a first appearance in front of court. If they have an attorney, that attorney can peer with them. If their attorney needs to be appointed, that can be handled at that time and then scheduled out for another time. And then so forth and so on, so for a case. So. Anything else? I appreciate it. Thank you all. I do have copies of the complaint if I'm sure that would be of interest. So.